Good evening and hello, everybody from coast to coast in Canada, here in Newfoundland, and around the world. Thank you so much for watching. Today, we have a very exciting episode for you here, in particular for Newfoundland and Labrador, and for farmers across the country. As you can see, as things are heating up globally, there is a huge demand and huge pressure on our farming industry, as well as rocketing sky high prices at the grocery store. How do we survive this? How do we sustain ourselves? I find it really fascinating. I live in a place where, it's absolutely beautiful. It's rugged. There's lots of land everywhere. And the number one thing that they say up on Signal Hill is do not feed the animals. Why? Because they forget how to feed themselves. So we've got this really fantastic young couple, Mackenzie and Genevieve Warford, who has totally set themselves up to be completely sustainable. They're wonderful, beautiful people. And I think it's not so much about problems these days, it's about solutions. And we can't fix anything until we find the people that know what they're doing. So I'm going to bring on Mackenzie and Genevieve, and we are going to talk farming. Hi, folks.
Hope you're ready to get down and dirty with the farmers.
I love the farmers. I want to be a farmer. It's really unfortunate that I'm not a farmer because, I don't even have any, back up in Alberta, I used to be able to go steal snap peas from my neighbors. But unfortunately, we don't get to do that here. So tell me about you guys.
Well, we're a family-driven farm that was started in 2021. My wife Genevieve and myself realized that there was a lack of affordable quality produce in the island. With the level of contaminated food on the rise as well from the imports and diseases like E. coli and salmonella. Also, the produce coming in being chemically sprayed, herbicides and pesticides and all kinds of freshness lockers. We knew something needed to be done. And for our children, mostly ourselves, it's we need to eat healthy. That's true. But we got 3 beautiful children that mean the world to us, and we would go to any means to be able to provide them with high quality produce. But like our children, Newfoundland Labrador is filled with family and friends who also deserve access to high quality produce. And knowing what technology is available in the world today, there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to have it. And so that's why we we built a custom geothermal hydroponic greenhouse on 3 acres of land, which we sold everything we had before we started farming, and we've got this private land, and we built our greenhouse, which is able to grow a vast variety of hydroponic crops, mostly in the loose leaf varieties and things like herbs. So we're talking salads and kale and Swiss chard, arugula, all these different beautiful superfoods. We're able to grow these in our greenhouse year round without having to use pesticides or herbicides, because it is a controlled and contained environment, which we have very high standards on our cleaning and our cleanliness. Because at the end of the day, we're feeding food to our family and our friends, and we have morals and ethics that we have to uphold, because as Newfoundlanders, we have respect for our people, right? And we don't expect any less of somebody else towards us either. So we started with the hydroponic greenhouse. We also do a little bit of traditional farming as well with root vegetables. Last year we did a small pilot project, and sorry if the wife has to dip in and out. We do have 3 kids.
It's very casual.
7 dogs and cat and 16 chickens. But last year we did a pilot project where we raised 4 hogs, and that's actually been in my family for as long as I can remember. It's just something that seemed to have skipped a generation. So this year we brought it back, or last year. And this year we've increased our capacity by 4 times the amount of hogs. So we're going to see a lot more meat production, along with our staple, which is romaine lettuce, is what we grow mainly in our hydroponic greenhouse, because we notice a lack thereof in the market. And as much as farming is a lifestyle, it's also a business. So supply and demand has pushed us into becoming the best romaine growers in Eastern Canada. I would say.
Yay! Right here.
Yeah,
in
no,
That's
people
awesome.
people say it. You got the best lettuce I've ever tasted. So I mean, we're not gonna knock the testimonies for what they are. They're solid and they're bulletproof. We strive to deliver the highest quality because that's what we deserve and that's what we expect. And the same with the hogs that we raised. The customers were over the moon satisfied with the taste. The amount of meat they got compared to the grocery stores blew their minds. Outrageously different. And that's why we're going to continue to bash on and move forward. And yeah, that's a bit about us and what we're up to. I mean, in regards to the farm, we also have a small licensing agreement with a farm in St. John's where they're going to be using our support to be able to offer Papa's Farms products in St. John's as well. So I'm really happy with that amount of production and expansion. And as much as we're not in massive chain grocery stores, we are in a couple big ones like Coleman's and Jim's Value Grocer in Grand Falls, Windsor, if anybody knows what that is. But it's a great thing after 5 years to see some traction from farming, and it's not the system that's helping us, and it's not the government. There's nobody really helping us but our own passion and persistence and commitment to push through all the red tape and the barriers that are plaguing farmers this day and age. Do you want to add anything? Did I miss anything?
No, it sounds good. Sorry,
we got a strong female, and we got a very flamboyant male. I'm very open and I'm very passionate about what every now and then she might give me a little smack on the tail and be like, you're going. Stop it. Pull back a little bit there, guy.
Yeah.
You know what I've learned over time? It's like I can come on here and I can be politically correct all day long, but the first minute I step out, everybody's excited. So it's nice to have real, authentic people because, everybody's tired of listening to the same scripted stuff over and over again. So I encourage you to be your authentic self. So how long have you been farming for? How long is...
So like farming has been in both of our families for forever, because I mean, on your side you got dairy farmers, and I guess that's all that your sister
it's
does,
more so farm. It's more an extended family on my side of the family, but I was around it my whole life, really.
And on my side we got family that are still farming to today, and they have they raise sheep and root vegetables. And my grandfather, before he passed away, back in the day, he was a hog farmer. So
vegetable farmers on your side of the family again.
I don't remember a time growing up where there wasn't something growing. If it wasn't for commercial, it was for personal uses. Like my grandparents and my great grandparents, even my mother and my father, they have a small greenhouse. They're not doing anything commercial, of course, but farming is in our blood and it's in our DNA. And the people who came here across the Atlantic Ocean with back in the day, I mean, they were traders and trappers and farmers and fishermen. These were good, hardy, working people who knew what it was to live off the land, because they were coming here with nothing or knowing there was nothing, and they made something of it. And here we are today, letting all that history and that culture go, and it doesn't make any sense, right? So, I mean, we've been farming as long as the first Newfoundlander who called themselves Newfoundlander set foot in Newfoundland. And it's, for Papa's Farm, it's only been 5 years, but it feels like a lifetime.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, then you guys would be the experts in telling us, like, has the industry changed a lot over the years? Like, is it more challenging? Is there more red tape? Like if I wanted to go be a farmer right now, would it be like impossible for me to have a hobby farm?
It's dependent on your location very much, but I will say it's not for the faint of heart. It's not something that you're just gonna say, I'm an accountant, I'm gonna segue into being a farmer next week. Like that's practically impossible unless you've done some a large amount of research and tests and trials and stuff. But at this day and age, it does seem to be very difficult for anybody to become a farmer, and like especially on our island. Where I'm talking to representatives who actually have told me out front that we try to discourage you because we want to weed out the people who are not really committed. And I get it in one way, and another way, it seems pretty crazy to me that you're going to try and weed us out and say, you shouldn't try that here because it's hard. It doesn't make sense. So yes, I would say that things, in the last 6 years, the agricultural minister position has changed hands 5 times. So like for somebody getting into farming is told, well, there's a department that helps you with that. And you go to seek help from that department and you get to talk to somebody. It's like, okay, that's great. And here's the plan. But every now and then that's going to change. So there's no solid support, let's say, anywhere for the farmer. As the only help that there really is farmers supporting farmers. And if you got a nice sized checkbook, well, the bank will help you at that point, right? Even the government will help you out if you got a nice sized checkbook. But
of course they will.
The average person to get into farming, if you haven't got $100,000 banked for the equipment, the fertilizer, the first year where you're not making any money and you're growing, where like food doesn't just happen. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to make a shirt. Well, you can make a shirt tonight and put it up and have it tomorrow. But with food, this takes time. So like the people that are involved with it know these things and they plan for these things. So if you haven't got your year's salary in the bank before you become a farmer, you're going to find it very difficult. And there are certain boundaries that are restricting people as well in terms of the logistical issues that are faced, where as a new or young or smaller farmer, you're not going to have the supply that the big chain grocery stores want to get your product on the shelves in the grocery stores. So you still want to be able to get it somewhere. So you think, well, maybe I'll try rural parts and smaller grocery stores. Well, distribution doesn't work that well here. There's lots of things coming in, but there's not lots of things being transported within the province.
Okay.
So for somebody like me to ship 32 head of lettuce or 24 head of lettuce is a case, for me to ship that from my place to Grand Falls, that one case alone cost me roughly $20. So how is a small farmer supposed to make money on a roughly $3 head of lettuce? You got 24 in a bunch. You're sending it on a shipping company and they want to take $20 away from you. And then for you, if you're going to use, like for us, we would like to use environmentally friendly means of transportation, where maybe we're not just using a cardboard box and throwing it out every time, where you could use something that's reusable or, totes. That tote coming back to me has to be paid for as well when it's empty. So it's like, you want to make a difference and you want to do something environmentally friendly and try and save $1, because who in the heck wants to buy boxes every week when you're sending out 30 cases of lettuce? Like that's not feasible. Doing it the environmentally friendly way is not feasible. It's not feasible anyway, because nobody can afford to be shipping lettuce for $20 for one case. It gets rid of all your margins. So there's a multitude of things. And then the big chain grocery stores, they will not take your product if you don't have a consistent supply. And when I say consistent supply for, say, a grocery store in Grand Falls, you're looking at least 1,000 head of lettuce a week. That's easy. That's a minimum. For a small
That's a lot of lettuce.
Yeah, and so we're pretty good. We put out 250 head a week. That's fantastic for a 100 by 24 foot custom greenhouse. That's out of this world to think that we can do that all year round. That's amazing, I think. But to a big chain grocery store, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, right? So we do our best, but it just doesn't seem like it's ever good enough for either the logistics, or it's not good enough for the grocery store. And what really sucks is that if you finally do get your product in there and you're selling it at a wholesale cost, so we sell 24, or the grocery store wants 24 head at $32. If we sell it at a wholesale cost, we're not making any money at that, especially if we're transporting it as well for $20. You know
You
what I
gotta
mean?
go direct to consumer.
Yeah, exactly. And
Sort
so
of
like
makes sense.
it's still hard then, because if you're in a rural area, consumers want to go to the grocery store to get their food. The grocery store is the old-fashioned watering hole in the Book of the Jungle, the Georgia Jungle, right? Like this is the water hole. This is where people congregate. This is where things happen. This is the grocery store. This is where food is supposed to be sold, and people know they're going there with a wad of money in their pocket to buy food. But if you say that, well, farmers can't afford to put their food in the grocery stores, well, why not sell it from the farm gate? Well, who in the world wants to drive 15 minutes out of town to buy a head of lettuce or one crop or two different crops when they can just go to the grocery store and pick it up? Right? So like it's a very funny, fickle system that we're working with. And then the government and other people are saying solutions are farmers markets. Well, we don't have enough farmers to have farmers markets. So you get 2 or 3 farmers at the farmers market, they sell out, and then the people are coming to the farmers market for farm goods, and they're like, there's nothing here, it's a craft and trade show.
And then there's the winter.
And then there's the winter, and most Newfoundlanders only grow traditional
crops. If we have to rent
crops.
a space, then we're just as well to be selling in a different space. It's the same as having a store. It's not really a farmer's market if we got to rent for space during the winter to have.
Exactly. Then it's more overhead cost, and
yeah. So, and then that's the thing about the farmer's market too, is that young farmers think, well, I'm going to go make my money at the farmer's market, and not thinking with a business mindset that whole time you're at the farmer's market, you should be paid labor. You should be paid time for your time. Most farmers will not take a cut out of the money they made at the farmer's market because, well, guess what? While you're at the farmer's market, you got to eat. And if you're like us, you got to take the whole family. So there's 5 of us. So if you're going to make $300 at a farmer's market, you're going to spend $80 in eating, and you got to drive there because the biggest farmer's markets are an hour out of our way. So in the pickup truck, in today's day, in the pickup truck, if we're going to the farmer's market, we're spending $200, right? Out of a $300 day. We did a great job. We sold a lot of good, high quality produce. Everybody's amazed at how good the produce is.
And it's, even if you do it every weekend, that's one day out of every week.
Oh yeah, you lose time farming.
I'm losing 6 days of sales because I
So,
don't.
just a question, not to interrupt, but it's always about the solutions, right?
Yeah.
So people keep asking, where's your farm? Where's your farm? Where are you guys?
We're in Burntberry Farm Road, which is the most ironic name you could have given it, because this is back in 1989 or 1998. Don't quote me exactly on that. Back in the 1900s, the late 1900s, there was a government-run program, and it was called Back to the Land in Green Bay. And it was all about this unity towards Green Bay farmers to be able to give them a space to grow and access to land and all this stuff. Well, that's where we're to again today. This was 30 years ago, let's say. And we're back in this cycle again where farmers are trying to get their land back and trying to get back to farming. And it's like, why are we stuck in this crude pattern of, something that doesn't make any sense? They were crying for this in the 1990s. And here we are in 2027. We're still crying for food security. It's just crazy. So we're located in Burntberry Farm Road, where farming seems to be repeating itself.
So that's in Green Bay, right?
Yes, that's in Green Bay. It's we're about 5 minutes or 3 minutes from Springdale Junction. If you were coming from Corner Brook, let's say, going towards the east, you're about 2 minutes from Springdale Junction. Our road is there on the left. It's not very visible yet, but we do have new signage that we're putting up this year. We got it late last year at the tail end of the year, so we couldn't beat the frost and get it down in the ground. We're also building a house, so it was a bit of a mad scramble last year, starting in July, I guess it was. But
just trying to beat the snow.
Yeah. This year will be a lot easier to find. That's for sure.
Hopefully, we're getting 50 centimeters tonight, so we'll see.
It keeps
we
coming.
might be in winter till June.
It keeps coming.
I might have a solution for your problem, but we can talk about that after. Because
Okay.
like, I just happen to know a lot of truckers.
Well, I used to be a truck driver myself, and that's how I learned about some of the dirty things that they were doing to our food.
Right?
You don't even want to eat bananas.
We don't
Trust
want to scare everybody.
You don't want to eat bananas, trust me.
Don't eat the bananas.
Don't drink the coffee and don't eat the bananas. Yeah.
How are you finding, like, fertilizer, feed? Are you finding like all of that stuff is starting to increase with all the, different things that are going on geopolitically, or is it pretty consistent for you here for cost to market stuff?
Well, there's no doubt that the cost of fuel is going to affect certain farmers, and it might not have affected us so much in the past as it will going forward, because we're bringing in the more traditional farming methods where we're going to be farming the land and, the hogs and more root vegetables and stuff like that. But, as per fertilizers, let's just talk about fertilizers for a second, because in my hydroponic greenhouse, I happen to use a bit of plant food, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cost of the fertilizer has not gone up, even though, they talk about, like, when we started the war in Ukraine and the war to Russia and all this stuff, they were saying fertilizer is going to go through the roof, and farmers we charge arm and leg for fertilizer, and it's going to drive up the price of your food. Well, I can honestly say the fertilizers that I use, the prices didn't change.
That's good.
Yeah, but however, the hydrogen peroxide that I use for cleaning my system and the tools and the equipment, well, that went up like double. So
of course it did.
It was like, wait a minute, didn't you say that it's because of the fertilizer that the farmers are getting? My fertilizer didn't move, right? But it's obvious that the price of fuel is going to affect farming drastically right now. Like, we're building pig tractors this year for our farm. So what that is it encourages rotational grazing on the farm, so the pigs won't be stuck in one spot of mud and crap and manure all year while they grow.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually going to be in a system that moves every month, so they're getting fresh ground to forage. They're working the land for me. The chickens are going to come in and do the rest of the work after. But I thought about using equipment to move the pig pens, and now here we are, because of the price of fuel today, saying, we need to be a little more economical about this, and I might have to do this by hand, or we're going to have to get a donkey, right? Like, this is the type of decisions that we're being faced with right now because of the price of fuel.
Funny, but yeah.
Well, I'd love to have a donkey. Like, your lifestyle is so attractive to somebody like me, because it's like I'm over here going like, oh my God, like, all this shit's happening in the world, and how much extra groceries have I got to buy, and how can I make friends with farmers? Seriously, that's the mental capacity of us. So, like, I currently have an egg friend. I call him my egg friend.
Yeah.
I get fresh eggs once a week. I get a full tray for $6. So it started off with one tray for myself, and now on Saturdays I get like 11 trays because everybody I know wants fresh
no
eggs.
doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
So, you buying a donkey, is it really that funny? It's actually kind of exciting for anybody that's watching, because here, like, we're limited. We're not supposed to grow certain vegetables.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get a hobby farm.
Yeah.
Like, we're so, I mean, seriously, why can't you have a chicken?
Well, that's one thing where, we're sort of blessed out here, because we're on private property where we do what we know needs to be done. But when you're in a municipality, especially large or urban municipalities, their governing law is so aggressive and anti-farming. It is crazy to think that it got that far. Like,
it's not.
It doesn't
match the lifestyle.
I sort of understand. Yes, you don't want the smell of chicken poop in the town, but is there not garbage dumpsters everywhere? Is there not?
Yeah.
Is there not things that stink in cities that aren't farm related? Because I know there are. So
in Country Ribbon, smack dab in the middle of everything, that place
they're allowed to farm.
They're farming.
They're allowed to farm. Yeah. Yeah. No,
You know?
and you know what? It's just we sometimes forget how blessed we are out here as farmers to be able to be given the opportunity to do what we do and to send a message like we are able to do tonight. And one more thing about I'll tell you this now. This is crazy because the cost, you want to talk about the cost of fertilizer? Well, the cost of feed for animals. Watch this now. We had chickens, was it 8 years ago or 10?
No, not 10.
8. We had chickens 8 years ago, and a bag of feed at that time cost $22.50. And now, at a certain distributor here in town, bag of chicken feed is $32. But by doing business and talking with somebody who's trying to grow and expand, we're able to get it down to 24. So, it's the same thing I look at with fertilizer. Did the price actually go up? Or is there somebody with sticky hands who took advantage of the situation and said, if that happens, we could tell them this is going to happen and we'll get more. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Because how am I still able to get the same things I got before for very close to the same price if everything is supposedly have gone up so much? So you do a little bit of digging and you realize, well, it's not what it seems, right? Like we can still get it for close to $22.50 if you put the work in.
Maggie's saying that she's paying $31.50 for chicken feed.
Yeah, exactly. So like, is it actually the retailer selling it who's drove up the price? Is it the logistical company that they're getting it from who drove up the price? Why is it that my guy can get it for $24? You know what I mean? He's not doing it for free. He can't do it for free. He's not like somebody else somewhere is greedy.
Well, that's like the gas prices right now. We don't buy oil from Iran, so why are we paying double and triple at the pump? I'm trying to get to the bottom of that story, but it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Right?
Never did.
So, do you think Newfoundland has what it takes to be sustainable, and what do you think it's going to take to get it there?
Well, quite simply, yes. Will it be easy? Far from it, actually. It's not going to be easy at all. But the question is, will it be worth it in the end? Right?
Mm-hmm.
No. Simple. Yes. Worth it. Yes. All right. I just outweighed it. It's just 2-1 there. Is totally worth it. And what we need to do is start at one step at a time, one crop at a time, with technological breakthrough, one technological breakthrough at a time. Well, this works. Okay. Let's make it better. Well, this works. Yeah. Okay. We'll make it better. What else needs to happen is we need a whole lot of people to jump in the pond and realize that this is a problem that we're all facing together. It's not affecting just the farmers. It's not affecting
everybody.
It affects politicians and lawyers and judges and doctors and people on welfare, prisoners. It affects everybody. It could be blue, black, green, purple, yellow. It don't matter what color you are. The bees, food affects you.
That's what you need is that the marketing of the bees.
So what it is though is that we need some policy changes, okay? And it's not like it's impossible to do. It's so possible to do. It's just a matter of putting, what we need to put somebody in the position of agriculture minister who's dedicated, who's determined, and who will say, you know what, if this don't work, I won't take a paycheck home.
He'll be fired.
If it won't work, don't give me my retirement package. If I can't put my life on the line for ye fellers to increase food security, don't hire me. Because 6 years, 5 different people. Who made a plan? None of them. What is the plan? Nothing.
Well, and most of them don't have any farming experience. Let's be honest.
Oh my great grandfather picked blueberries out on the field when I was 12. Yes, that's great for your great grandfather. What have you ever done for us?
But you have room to expand. So if
my goodness, yes.
your consumer demand went up, right? So like, let's hypothetically just put it out there. Like, I'm going to just take a second. I'm going to show you something and you cannot laugh. Okay. Just give me 1 second.
We got to entertain the mass while she's gone.
This is the extent of my ability to learn how to farm.
Oh,
Now I've successfully grown some type of violet, and now I'm going to start working on tomato plants. So I can acknowledge that for somebody like me that thinks that I'm going to be able to grow enough food for my family and learn all this shit by the time that I'm going to need it is probably not going to happen.
yeah.
So what I think needs to happen is I think we need to get our farmers together that has the brains and the know-how, and we need to find the people that need to eat, and we need to do direct to market.
Yeah.
So that we can expand outside, right? Like you said earlier in one of our messages, it's like there's a lot of red tape to get involved, right? So why reinvent the wheel?
Yes,
Let's
exactly.
help find the people to help expand on the wheels that are already on your bus. And maybe we'll get you a donkey.
Oh, well, I mean, a donkey and...
We're definitely getting a donkey. It's the sustainable brand.
The one thing about a farm is every animal has a job, and a donkey does more than one job on the farm.
Yes.
They do a lot of heavy lifting, but they're also great guard animals, right? So for foxes and coyotes and minks, ain't it's going to tamper with your chickens or your stock. Donkeys are a great animal to have around, and
down to the manure.
They're very everything, right?
Everything has to have a purpose.
Yeah,
and a donkey makes a lot more sense than a tractor.
100%. And
I think so too.
I really want a horse, and I know we're going to end up having a horse, but a donkey, I think everybody likes a donkey, right?
My partner had horses. He has he's had a hobby farm. He was trying to get into St. Philip's, which is where I live, and had to go to Torbay because St. Philip's and Portugal Cove was a hard no. We had lots of stuff to do it, and he said out of the chickens and the few things that he had, the hardest thing was to maintain was the horse.
Yes,
the horse. Yeah, they're
it's
a little
passion. That the horse really, if the horse doesn't haul logs, well, it's really a pleasure. You know, it's like owning a Sea-Doo or something. But for us, we're planning on expanding our land and our farm. So like for me, I don't want to go out and jump on the quad or jump on the skidoo or side by side. I want to saddle up the horse and go and tour, or walk my farm, walk my perimeter, check on everything, make sure everything's okay. It's just it's something in my brain that I can't get out since I was a little boy. I know I'm going to have a ranch. I know I'm going to see cattle grazing the hill. I know we're going to feed a lot of people. It's just taking a little bit more time, and it's a lot more bureaucracy than I ever expected.
Well, a lot of things like, you know, if you look at the national and the geopolitical climate, even the fisheries is having a struggle with trying to keep their boats in the water, like high financing, high buy-in, and then when they lose their contract, it then goes to the offshore oil or the offshore industry. So we're slowly losing our fisheries the same way. But, you know, if there's an opportunity there, I think, you know, outside of this conversation, we should sit down and figure out what it is that you need, because, you know, I always say there's a whole pile of different people, the things that make things successful, right? There's the pioneer who's the brains, right? Then there's the manager who wants to be part of the success but doesn't want to take the risk. And then there's the worker bees, right? Like when I had a big business in Alberta, I never did accounting. I never knew what I had. You know, she could have robbed me blind. But you trust the people that know what they need to do best. And I know that, you know, not even just in Newfoundland, but right across the country, there's a huge interest in supporting sustainable food sources and agriculture. And I know I personally talked to a lot of those people that would be very interested in supporting you, especially where you're young and it's not a hobby, like you're passionate about it, you know?
Well, you know, like the one cool thing that actually went good for us this year was that we were approved to have solar panels put into our business and sell that power back to the grid. So
Okay.
like at some point, we're going to become so self-sufficient that we will not require help from exterior forces. Like our hydroponic system is a recycling system that recycles its fertilizer and the water. It's the most unique way of utilizing every bit of necessities needed to grow plants in a system contained, while also utilizing the ground as a heat source, because it's geothermal, as a heating and a cooling source, bringing in solar to offset our need for the grid. And then with the pigs, we're growing hay and feed for the pigs. So like our farm and our goal is that the farm feeds itself, you know, like, and at some point, the seeds for our plants that we're growing are going to be grown from the plants that were of the previous harvest. We're going to
Like heirloom. Because
Yeah.
I've heard there's a difference between heirloom and the other kind. The other
Yeah,
kind
so
you
we're-
gotta buy every year.
we'll
and then
bring in
you
heirloom
throw it.
seeds. We'll bring in heirloom seeds, and we'll harvest half as lettuce. But what happens is lettuce gets too old, too long, it bolts, goes into flower, and grows new seeds. So we won't have to be reliant on buying seeds, right? And we're also working with Holdfast NL, which is a company that has seaweed. And no, it's not Holdfast NL. What's the name of that? There's a company. Sorry, I got the name of them. Forgot now. Out in St. John's, they grow kelp and seaweed, and we're working with them to use their kelp to grow our plants. So, like, if we could use nutrition from the ocean,
Why not?
ashes from the ash box, and a couple other trace elements like vinegar and any phosphoric acid, really vinegar is the one. We could actually grow our hydroponic plants as organically as possible and being more self-sufficient than anybody around, basically. Like, that's our whole goal, is to make and like with our hogs and our rotational grazing with the pig tractors, the purpose of that is that the hogs provide fertilizer to the land. They get moved. The chickens do their job after the hogs on that same patch of ground. They get moved. That land sits for a year. The year after, that's ready to be farmed. I don't need to go buy fertilizer.
See, that's amazing.
And
Like-
then the kelp from the ocean on top, we've just made this land as fertile as possible and without adding any harmful or dangerous chemicals. Now, I will say, outside fighting pests is not going to be an easy thing. The pests will probably take over a lot of crop, but you have to be prepared for that and grow extra, right? Like, we don't want to spray. We don't want to spray anything. Well, why would I want to spray anything when I know, like, my kids walk up and down my greenhouse? They can take a leaf of romaine lettuce anytime from any part of my system, and they can put it right in their mouth, and I don't have to worry. I do the same. They do the same. We're all walking around happy as.
You don't have appeal?
No.
You mean to buy your stuff, it has no appeal?
You just eat it. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
The kids eat it. We eat it. We just, you don't have to do anything. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense that it is the way it is. Put it that way, right?
They fed the foxes. That's what happened. They fed
I
the
know.
Foxes. We forgot how to do this shit, and all Newfoundland's going to put its hope in you to help us feed everybody.
It's a trade for convenience.
Yeah, well, 100%.
But what has that brought us to? So
lots of pain, suffering, and
Well,
work.
look at the
how you
medical
work
system.
together. Like, how beautiful is that? I bet. Do you guys both work at home?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
See,
Well, she homeschools the kids.
your children at
Homeschools
home.
the kids. She's the woman of the house because I can't do crap around the house. She also helps out with the hydroponics and the farming. And I mean, she's the scheduling lady. She's the get your butt in gear lady.
Can I be adopted? I know I'm probably old enough to be your mom, but I could like to learn and be out there. I'll take my books. All I need is a hammock, and I'm all set.
It's
Right?
just there's a couple hammocks kicking around our property, and I mean the kids are occupying them mostly, but it was not the kids, it's the cats, and it's not the cats,
Well,
it's the dogs, and
We
it's
have
not
a
the
lot of
dogs, it's the
cats.
chickens.
so
Yeah.
some people that are asking questions, it's like if they wanted to start their own little gardens at home, like
Mhm.
little kind of, patio kind of gardens, what do you recommend would grow well?
Well, it's funny you say that because we do offer our own how-to hydroponics course on a platform called School, and we advertise that all the time on our Facebook page. But if you want to go into soil, I mean, there's a multitude of things you can grow, but the problem is the amount of daylight hours. There's a lot of things about farming that can't be explained in 5 minutes. It would take a lifetime, and I could talk for 7 years.
You could talk for 7 years. I like tomatoes.
There you go.
And lettuce is always easy, whether you want to do it in soil or water.
Yeah. But if you
I've
want,
put onion in water
Just
before.
try it. Yeah, I said just try it
Well-
and then plant 5, and if you get 2 or 3 plants, then perfect.
well, we have just a glass of water with a little bit of plant food in there. You look close, you can see all the roots starting to form here. These are just willow trees. And willow trees back in the day, if people didn't know, they had I don't want us to call it chemicals, but they have traits in them that, oh, I guess you would call it chemicals. There's chemicals in a willow tree that were actually used for real aspirin back in the day before it became totally synthetic. So, I mean, if we can grow willow trees in a glass of water, there's no reason that people can't grow it. Just try, like if you don't think you can grow it, well, frig it, do it anyway and see if it works. If it doesn't work, who cares? Try something else. But lettuce is super easy. There's no doubt. Cucumbers require a lot of water. Tomato requires a lot of water, but I could set a tomato plant up in that glass, just like those willow trees, and they would grow.
Really?
There's lots of things growing around here.
You don't need to be
on the fridge.
Tell me more about
must
this
to grow a plant.
Tell
I
me
don't
more
think
about
you can
this
do it.
school course. We need to know where to find it because everybody's asking.
Oh,
How do we find it? Maybe when we're
can I
done,
put
you
it in
can
the chat?
Yeah, could you do that?
Let's see.
And
We probably can, just to find how.
Hydroponics with Papa. Here it is. Copy. Now, we only got a basic course out now because we literally just started doing these courses last month. And like our next course is going to be a little more advanced. But that one teaches you the basics of hydroponics, what it is, what type of systems there are, the fundamentals. I believe there's something like 40 pro tips that I acquired over the past 5 years of growing.
It's like a introductory.
It's a good introductory, yeah. But we also grow plants in the class. For the 5 lessons, I teach you how to grow plants and how to check on it and keep it alive and all that good stuff. But
just search up Papa's Farm hydroponics on School.
I already sent her the link.
that's perfect because what I'll do is when we're finished, I'll do a little write up so people can find your Facebook page
Perfect.
and
Cool.
they can find your school link and stuff. But I think people are going to want more because all of these questions are coming from everywhere. So what gives you hope about the future of farming? What do you
fact
hope
that we're
happens?
the fact that we're having this conversation gives me hope because there's no spot too dark or too scary or too bright and too light and lightning that I wouldn't go to talk about food security. The fact that I've talked from everybody from the top to the bottom and around the world again about food security, that's literally what gives me hope. The fact that we've grown from 1,500 followers on Facebook for 2 years up to almost 14,000 followers now, and
Awesome.
seeing other farmers across the world sort of start doing or have been doing the same thing we're doing, they're also starting to pick up a bit of traction. And that's one thing I started to do as a content creator. You search the web to find content to recreate. I mean, you try to be as authentic as possible and throw in your own little jazz. But sometimes you got to search. And what I found was when I was searching, I was finding a lot of stuff that was not really relevant. And I started just hating everything. Thumbs down, don't want to see it, don't care, don't want to see it. And I find a farmer, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to flick over that farmer's page. I'm going to like every damn video I got. I'm going to copy every single video, post it somewhere, do something with it. I'm going to follow all the farmers. And I've noticed that if you do that, a farmer will follow you back. So the fact that we're supporting each other and going out and having these conversations, that's what gives me hope. And to see other farmers doing better, or having people reach out to me on Facebook. I don't know how many people have reached out to me and say, you know, you're inspiring, and I want to do what you're doing. And it's like, that's exactly what we want to see. We need to see this. We need to show you that it is possible, even though, you know, the economy is trash and there seems like there's little to no support, and light is dim in some spots. There is hope, and it's coming. It's I guess it's the story of the tortoise and the hare, and we're certainly a tortoise that's on a path that will not be stopped. We are not running 500 kilometers an hour only to take a break at the finish line. We're slow and steady, and we're plugging along. We're picking up traction as we go, and we don't plan on stopping until we cross the line.
Listen, I can relate because I've been around for a long time, challenging different narratives in the country, and I always say Newfoundland, we're like a bunch of cockroaches, right? You step on us, and we shake it off, and we get up, and we keep on going. So I have no doubts that Newfoundland will probably, and our people will probably be the ones that spearheads a lot of really positive initiatives that will keep our families fed and comfortable through some very challenging times.
I know we're probably worldwide, but I will let the world know that there's a lot of smart Newfoundlanders. Man, the amount of Newfoundlanders I've seen do a lot of crazy stuff that it's just something in our DNA.
It is. It is. You guys you can subscribe to your page too, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a subscriber link on our Facebook page where people can pay a small fee to be able to support us directly. And we put content on there that's not on the main Facebook page, so it's a little more exclusive, and it actually is a little more
personal.
Yeah, there it is. That's the word. I want to say real because it's all real, but this, like, you know, this is my grandma. It's like, oh my God, he does have a grandma. He's a real person. Look, that's real. We're supporting real people. Now, unfortunately, for the world,
women are as tough as men here too.
Oh, you know? God, that's why I'm so tough and chivalrous. I was raised by 14 women, I think. But anyways, I will say this: you will never find a picture of our kids' faces on social media because we're here to protect, right? We're here to promote, and we're here to protect. We want to encourage and make sure that everybody has access to high quality produce. And we want to show to people that we have a happy, joyful family. But at the other flip of the coin, there's a lot of bad people out there. We know this, and we've known this for a very long time before everybody got exposed. So we protect our children. You'll never see their faces until they're old enough to decide that they would like to be online, and at that point, I mean, that's up to them. I will give them free will. I mean, you got the right to choose, but while you're under my protection, we're going to protect you.
So, well, that's what you sign on for, and I tell people that all the time. Like, I'm a big parental rights advocate. You know, I get my ass kicked sometimes because people don't understand, you know, what I talk about.
Yeah.
But, you know, eventually people see the light and they come to their own realization when they take the time to look a little bit deeper. You know, I'm just here to protect. I want to try to protect everybody.
Yeah.
I want to feed everybody. That's why I'm talking to you guys. I want to protect everybody. So,
yeah,
you know, and I think, you know, most Newfoundlanders are inherently good, you know, but our minds are much like a garden, right? Or much like eating. Whatever we feed it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Is whether or not it's going to be healthy and it's going to give you the, you know,
it's our favorite saying here.
You are what you eat. Well, not only that, that's what
you consume.
You are
in any way.
You exactly
the
whatever
music you listen to,
whatever you put in that old body, whether it's physical or mental, it is going to affect you, and you have the choice to say no, even if it does get into ears, you still have the choice to say, I'm going to let that one go out, right? So like everybody has an opportunity to learn and live and get better, and it is all about you are what you think about all day long.
And what we believe we become, right?
Yeah,
So if
precisely.
we believe that we're going to succeed, we will. We just,
Oh yeah.
I always say, how do you change the mindset of 541,000 people? Because if we can do that, if we can inspire this province collectively to get us moving in a healthy, positive, constructive, accepting, loving, kind, compassionate, nurturing way, I mean, we could conquer the universe. It's just
100%.
The only way is monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
You can only do what you can do at home and hope that it goes out.
So we're getting close to time. How can we support you? How do we get your produce? And how do we support you? Like, do we have to order like $1,000 worth of it every 2 weeks? Like, if we were to send somebody out to pick up some stuff, maybe you can make a plan for us city folks to be able to have access to your produce. Because I'd rather, no offense, I think Coleman's is a fabulous grocery store.
Yeah.
But we would rather support direct.
Well, you would be doing more for supporting direct than you would be any other way. That's you can't beat the farm gate sales. Every dollar spent at the farm stays on the farm and within our economy. That's one thing that we've lost here in Newfoundland, and why we're all broke is because we don't understand that spending money on imported goods means you're taking what's in our actual economy. Say this is our money pocket in Newfoundland. Every time a Newfoundlander says, oh, I want imported produce, they take a fraction of what is in our money pocket and they throw it away. It's never coming back. This money pocket gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. The more money we bring in, the more money we don't have. We don't have it. It's gone. It's literally given to a United States of America company down in California in the South Bowl. And I got nothing wrong with the people of the United States of America. I got friends. I got friends all over the world, but I'm not bringing food in when I know I can grow it here.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody says that they're in Red Cliff. I would be a drop site to support you if that would work. So you're gonna have to go through the comments because so many people are wanting to connect with you guys. Can you make a plan for the province? Or
Sorry?
Can you make a plan that we could present to the public for what we can do to be supportive to help you expand? Can you take a couple of days or a week or whatever to think about what it is that you would need to be able to feed more people? And
quite simple. It's not going to be hard because what we've got to this point is off of the sweat of our backs, and I bought back my military pension to be able to do this because I served the people. Then I wanted to serve them even more, so I got into food security, right? So like I believe so wholeheartedly in this that we've put everything we've got into it. There's nothing we haven't already learned that it could be learned again, but we're at a point where we know what needs to happen and we know where the money needs to go to make it happen. There are some barriers still and red tape that make it difficult to expand, but we're not afraid of those things,
because I really think like Newfoundland is just waiting to be organized in my mind. Yes. Right? Yes. Because I've got these people over here that are panicking about food security, and I got you over there that's trying to sell I had a lid for a decent price. Do you know what I'm saying? So we just have to figure out the connectivity part of it, and how we can make it work. And I really would like to have you back on, to maybe once we figure it out. I mean, if you're interested to figure out a way, I have access to all kinds of stuff, Most of the people I know right now are concerned about food security. Overall.
You should be. I mean, I can't believe we had to get to this point in 2026 for people to be like, there's a little problem here. Like, cost of pork is $10.98 a pound. Oh, look, there's Papa's Farm over there saying that they can sell it to us for $4 a pound impossible. No, it's true. You buy your pork off of us, it's $4 a pound.
But we drive for that.
If you
right?
send it to a local abattoir, it's $6 a pound. If you go to the grocery store, it's $10 a pound.
Or
10. $10
Crazy.
a pound.
Yeah. And it's farm raised.
Well, I can tell you that I've never seen a farm at the back of any grocery store. Right? Where's it come from? Right?
Oh,
you
Mexico.
Don't know.
Mexico.
Could be Mexico. Could be Zimbabwe.
Could be lab
Could
grown.
be carrots from Israel. I got a local farmer up the road grows the best carrots you ever had, and he could if he could take his abilities and teach 10 more Newfoundlanders. Well, my God, what just happened? Look, the best carrots in Newfoundland just quadrupled or 10x in size because one man decided to share what he's doing with the next. That's all we're trying to do here is share our knowledge with the next guy or girl or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how we grow farming.
Well, we kind of need it because the kids think baby carrots are baby carrots.
Oh yeah, it's very scary. There's certain kids think food comes from the grocery store, like straight up. That's a reality we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where does food come from, Jimmy? I come from grocery store. Oh.
Exactly. And there's questionable things going on with our food supply. There's lots of chemicals and red dyes and pesticides and
it's not even being hidden from us at this point. It's just people can't even see what's right in front of them. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has clearly defined that we're selling cloned meat and we're not requiring distributor companies to put it on the label. They've clearly told us this. Nobody's saying anything.
2 weeks ago, I took ground beef, and normally, I don't buy ground beef from Walmart. I'll typically buy Sobeys, whatever. I'm not overly picky. And I was trying to crumble that shit in that pan for 20 minutes. And finally I said, no fucking way. That can't be meat. So I just opened up the garbage and I chucked it in. So, my dad is a hunter. So
cool.
We've got access to moose and
there's all ground moose here. It's all ground moose here. I mean, we did a pig last year, but we didn't turn any of it into ground meat. We got enough ground moose to last a year, right? And that's, I can't even.
Have you tried moose bacon? Have you ever done moose bacon?
No, don't go get me all hyped up now about something else.
So Coleman's, somebody bought me this stuff. It's called moose skillets.
Yeah.
Anyway, they brought it over for breakfast one time.
Yeah.
Sweet baby Jesus in the garden. I'll never go back. It's the best skillet for breakfast I've ever had. Yeah.
Unreal.
So crazy. So final note, tell us what you'd like us to know and tell everybody how we can support you in the meantime.
Well, I know the cost of food is high and the amount of farming activity is low, but it's times like these when the underground heroes, they rise up in the face of adversity, and the oppressors, they become neutralized by people who decide to rise up in the face of adversity. So we're here when farming wasn't cool. That old song, I was country when country wasn't cool. Well, I can tell you, we were farming when farming wasn't cool. And at some point, country became very cool and very popular. And I would like to be a part of the group of farmers who suddenly became very cool and very popular because people realize farmers are the backbone to any great economy, any great civilization. Since the test of time, since there was castles and dungeons and dragons, there was always farmers. And if you didn't get enough food prepared for the winter, a lot of people starved. If you didn't get enough food prepared for the siege, you lost your kingdom. Right now, we don't have enough food for the storm. We don't have enough food for the siege. We will lose our kingdom if we don't do something about it. This is our home. This is our land. We need to step up and support local farmers.
Bravo. Well said. And Genevieve, I can see why you don't need the internet. He's a hoot and a half, right? He is. He's a good sport. That's awesome. So, also I'd like to say thank you for your service. My son is in the Canadian Armed Forces. He's
Beautiful.
he's over in Poland right now,
Wow.
learning the skills. And his father was also in the Canadian Armed Forces. So, yeah,
That's why
it's
we joined. We joined because of our ancestors and our forefathers, and they, you wouldn't even be able to sleep good and tight and safe tonight if it wasn't for the sacrifices of our ancestors and our forefathers. And you know what? I think a lot of them are rolling over in their grave right now, seeing what they sacrificed their lives for. I think they are. I think they're very upset.
Yeah, well, and you know what? We sometimes, to show that we are the ones that are in power, right? That it
Yeah.
is truly about the people. Because it's like I say all the time, and I swore I wasn't going to get into any type of politics. I'm not going to, but you know, I always say it's the lazy man that made the money off of the backs of the work, right?
Mhm.
Like we're the ones that do the work. The farmers
Yeah.
grow the food, the teachers do the teaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're what makes this machine work,
Yeah.
right? And really, I think the only thing that it takes to conquer it is for us to be able to take back the mechanisms in the machine.
Yeah, 100%. I
Like
mean, everything is there. Everything is there. It's just being mismanaged and misused. It's very simple. Uh, you know, if the engine of your car is not working right, there's only a couple things that you got to do to fix it, right? But if you let the right or the wrong person drive your car for a long time, you get it back and it stinks. And I mean, the brakes are wore off it and the bearings are shot.
That's when I bought your car.
You know what I mean? You get a real mechanic in there who knows what they're at, and they're going to be like, hey, we got a couple problems here. We're going to have to fix it. But if you let somebody who doesn't know what they're at continue to run this province, we're going to continue to fail. And at some point, somebody's going to get in the seat and say, holy crap, we got some trouble with this car. And like, why haven't we told everybody yet?
Exactly. Well, I'm waiting for them to tell everybody. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me your time today. I know that it's, children time at 8:30 in the evening.
Oh, yeah.
So we won't keep you much longer. And, like I said, we'd love to support you. Have a look at some of the questions. Maybe we could figure out a way to kind of help you expand or help good people get some healthy food for their families. And I thank you both so very much for your time.
Yes, thank you very much for having us. It's been a great opportunity to talk about food security and the state of affairs that we're facing here in Newfoundland, Labrador. It's felt by all of Canada. Actually, I've talked to people all across this great country, and there's a lot of people who are struggling with food security, and food security holds no bounds. So, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Message
Thank you.
us.
Did you want to say something, Genevieve?
No, that's it. He does all the talking. But message us, and if you have anything to chat about or questions, or if you want to know how to help us, just message us. We read every single comments. We try to reply to everybody. We're trying to be connected with all our followers. It's
transparent, engagement, commitment. That's what we are.
Thank you. People are saying thank you from Alberta. Lots of love for you folks. You guys have been ahead, and maybe you want to come back on sometime and tell us something else,
Yeah.
Much love and respect from my family to yours. Thank you so much, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. Weren't they the coolest people ever? It makes me want to hear, do you think your tractor's sexy? That is awesome. So for each and everybody that is watching, please go find Papa's Farm, make a connection, see how you can get some of their fresh produce, how we can support them, how we can help them expand on their initiatives and goals to make Newfoundland more sustainable. And thank you, as always, for watching. God bless. Love you all. It doesn't want to let me out.